Hi, and welcome to another Action Coaching Club live coaching call. It's Lou Dallow. Nice to be here with you. Nice to have you here with me. Tonight we're going to be doing some live coaching hot seats as well as a little bit of Q&A. So the flow for today is we're going to do a little bit of strategy hot seat coaching, which is basically, a focused 15 or 20 minute laser coaching call with three people. And, tonight I'm going to really ask you to zone in on the things that are most important to you. And let's do our best to stay on time. I will own that responsibility as well, but just be really clear about the things that you want to take away from our call so that you can direct me to provide the best support possible for you. So on our strategy hot seats tonight, we have scheduled Christopher, Pam, and Annette. So I see all of you guys here, which is awesome. Thank you for coming on board on time, and we'll do it in this order, right? So Christopher, Pam, and Annette, and then when we complete the laser calls, the coaching calls, we will do a round robin Q&A coaching until we run out of time or we run out of questions, whichever comes first. And what I want to encourage you to do is you're listening to other people's hot seats. My experience is that when other people are talking about their work, their projects, and so on, there's usually quite a bit of things that we talk about that if you just kind of reflect and ask yourself the question, so how does this apply to what I'm doing? Very oftentimes you'll be really surprised at how applicable it is. And so I'm going to ask you to listen actively to the conversation and reflect on, okay, what's happening? How does that affect me? How does that, what does that have to do with what I'm doing? How can I use this myself, right? So don't, as you're listening, just kind of reflect and just listen actively. Take a lot of notes because you'll be surprised how much comes out when you're not directly trying to apply it, but you're just kind of reflecting on it. There's part of the brain, that the critical part of the brain that it wants to yell, I can't do this. This is not for me. Blah blah. That kind of quiets down as you're actively listening to someone else. That part of your subconscious, just the internal dialogue, just kind of quiets down. So take advantage of that to pump in some new ideas and new possibilities. Okay, Julia, you're seeing a black screen, but I am being told that the screen is showing up okay. So you might want to refresh, Julia. And if that doesn't work, you might have to just dial back in to the GoToWebinar system. Is anybody else seeing a black screen? If you don't type no, just say yes if you're seeing a black screen. Right. Okay. Good. So I think it's just something happening on your end, Julia. No one else is seeing it. So if you can't get it to work with a refresh, then just go ahead and log back into the GoToWebinar system, and you'll be log out and log back in, and you should be okay. All right, so let's get started with Christopher. If you would be kind enough to raise your hand, Christopher, then I will open your line and look up your email. And by the way, you can raise your hand with *2. There you are.
Oh, fantastic.
Hey, good to have you on.
Thank you very much.
My
well,
pleasure.
I've got some good news and bad news. Do you want to start off with going to the website, or do you already have that in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me. And if,
okay.
Is that what you want to do? Is you want to review part of the website?
That is correct.
Okay, let me hop over there
So
now.
it's going to be internetmarketingeugene.com.
Eugene is in Oregon?
That is correct.
Awesome.
Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I did. I got to tell you, some of the most beautiful sunsets in the world are in Oregon.
Oh, they are. It's beautiful. I just moved back from being in St. Louis, so.
That's a big change.
Yeah, it is a big change for sure.
Yeah. Great. Okay, there we are. So let me just see if I can
If your business is
shrink this down a little bit so we have a bit more room. Oops.
Through the internet.
Let me just turn that
Turn
down.
autoplay off if you want.
That's okay. I got
There
it.
you go. So here's a couple questions I had for you. Unfortunately, the new video is going to put up. It just finished rendering, like literally. I'm watching it render in, and it just finished it. I was hoping to have that up there, and you could take a look at it. But what I want is your opinion on how well is this page looking to drive people to sign up. And a part of that's actually probably looking at the video and seeing the content inside of the video. But we can work from there, and you can ask me questions.
Well, I actually did watch the video earlier. I got a chance while I was waiting for my lawyer to call. I figured, what the heck.
Fantastic.
So I did see it, and I mean, I think it's ready to drive traffic. You know, it's pretty nicely produced, and it hits on. I think the only thing that I would recommend to you is don't overdo the effects, like you know, this what do they call this when they turn it on its edge kind of thing?
Yeah, this was a stock. This is a stock one that I threw up there that was given to me.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
not quite personalized enough. So it was just kind of like a placeholder. That's why I was saying I had another one I wanted to put in there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's not bad
just
though. It's pretty
had
good. You know, the content is good, right? I mean, I think that you hit on a couple of important points and share with people why they want to know about being online and you know, the value you can bring to them, and then you talk about the action, you know, take action, get online, get your free consultation kind of thing. So I think overall the flow is good, and it's not too long, 3 minutes and 26 seconds. You know, anything around the 2 to 3 minute mark, or even 3 to 5, but generally around 3 minutes or less is excellent. So I would, yeah, I would have really no hesitation driving traffic here. The only thing that I would say is I'm not really sure how many people would. Okay, so there's two concerns. One is I don't know how many people would actually sign up for a free consultation right out of the gate. So if you're driving cold traffic here, you may get some people to sign up. But what I find, what I prefer to do usually, and you'll want to test this, but what I like to do is to give people the opt-in, so that they get some value for free, and then that gives me time to build trust and provide value to the point where they feel okay calling in or taking that consultation. So
exactly. That's actually what the new video talks about, is
excellent.
giving some free content away about talking a little more in depth about
Yeah.
the process of what for a local business, and then it's going to give like a free report, actually personalized report for their business, and then so not even calling for the consultation until
Yeah,
one or two steps
so see
after
this, so this thing right here, see this is the challenge. You have free strategy session, but your opt-in says learn the most important steps to traffic and profits, right? So now we've got two conflicting calls to action, and we want to try to avoid that.
Correct. That's what the new video is going to talk about, is more of these 5 steps.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a big one actually. I would say when you make those changes to the video, then you're really selling the opt-in, the value of opting in, and then that's perfect. Now the other comment I would make here is that this opt-in doesn't pop enough for me, and I think it's hard to read red on black. And if anybody, well, I mean, red and green are always tough for you know, people with trouble. What do they call that? Color blindness.
So
But
color blindness, yeah.
yeah, I would probably want to make this either white on black, or I would like to make it red on white, or something that pops a little bit more. This just kind of doesn't capture my attention. Like this orange, this thing here is amazing. This catches the eye like nothing else, the free strategy session. And so, you know, something like that in the opt-in box would be good too, because that's ultimately where you want them to focus on and take action.
Okay.
So a little bit of something, you know, graphically or otherwise, to make this pop would be excellent. This is a little
Okay.
bit too subdued, too gray. We really want it to jump out at them.
Talk about the button itself.
Yeah, the button could be. By the way, get instant access is better than submit. People prefer not to submit to you.
Okay.
And get
Good to
instant
know.
access is a proven phrase that seems to work very well. So you might consider that. And then graphically, if there's anything you can do to make this a little bit more legible. And then also, what is it? Learn the 5 most important steps. Are they getting what? A video, an audio, a report?
It's going to be another video once I get inside on a video, and then also a special report.
Right.
Going to
So
with
nice
their
little-
individual business.
So nice little video, a nice little headline here, like, you know, free video, get instant access, you know, learn 5 most important steps. And then I would also say, I know it seems obvious, but I would say enter name and address below and get instant access, right?
Okay.
So a headline, and then this that you have in here becomes kind of the paragraph, if you will, under the headline, and then maybe right above here you say enter your name and email below for instant access.
Okay. Oh, so instant access. Okay, great. I'm glad that this is being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and take a look. All right. Those are going to be my big questions. Was how does the first page look? Scrolling on down. Oh, here's just some maybe quick pointers. Are you finding it's better just to have a video with no text at all, or a video and text on a landing
If you
page?
put text, what I find is that the best combination oddly enough, is that you on the video are reading the text.
Okay.
And you know, as it turns out, funny enough, I didn't even realize there was text under here. I just never scrolled beyond this. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So, so that should give you some indication. But for people who do scroll and they want to read the text, it's always it's actually quite comfortable if you're reading the text rather than part of their brain is reading one bit of text and the other one is trying to listen/watch your video. So as it turns out, if your video kind of guides them through the text, that's the best combination of the two.
Okay.
That's where I would start testing. Like this right here. This is a bit too heavy reading for an opt-in page. You know,
Okay.
get some bullets, you know, write a paragraph, get some bullets, and don't forget the call to action, right? Because there's no call. This should reinforce what you're saying in the video. And and it should end up with a call to action as well, okay? And then you might,
Okay.
what's the difference? This was going to be for the free strategy session, right? So this is going to go?
It's it's actually two different ways to get into it. So I'll tell you how I put the site together. Was obviously put the video in, and then I put in the one that you were just pointing out with the mobile phone, and then I put in the call. Then I put in the side option here, thinking that would be more like on eye level. So as soon as somebody got done looking at the video, they just went over with their eye rather than having to go down. So my point, yeah, you're right. I was going to look at taking that bottom one out.
Yeah, either take it out or see if it looks different, they're going to think it's for something different, right? So if you put
Okay.
a second one in, make it look as much as possible like the other opt-in, so that in their brain they're going, oh, okay, this is the same thing.
Hope you're having a great day.
Okay.
Okay.
And what I would
Right.
probably recommend is that you put if you're going to write some text, write the text first, right? Because here I've got the video and I've got the opt-in, and it's always great. I'm trying to make it so I can mark your page up here.
Okay.
But members only. That's weird. Never had to do that before. Yeah. So what I want to say is, like at the end of the video, you might actually have like a big arrow that points here and says, you know, watch your free video now. So that now you have this big red arrow pointing. You've got a nice opt-in page that pops up, and so you don't really need another one underneath yet. However,
Okay.
once they scroll down and they read everything and they go, yeah, this sounds interesting. Now would be a good place to put another opt-in form, so they don't have to
Okay.
scroll back up.
Hey, do a quick favor and just refresh the page. Let's see if the new video came up. And you don't have to play through it, but okay. But that's I'll have to resize it. You're going to probably want to stop the autoplay on that guy. So it doesn't.
Okay, this is the new one here?
Yeah, this is the new one where I'm actually reading the text.
Okay, that's 9 minutes long, eh?
Hi.
Yeah,
Hope you're
so
having a great day.
that was,
I'm Chris
you already
Brown.
pointed out that it looks like we probably want to reduce it down to a couple of minutes.
Yeah, 2 to 3 minutes would be good for an opt-in.
Okay, great. I'll go back and work on that and reduce it down.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what we talked about, like reading the text, and then I'll resize it and then put the arrow at the end after a couple of minutes pointing to the form.
Yeah, an arrow, and
Right.
yeah, an arrow, and if you want, test it with, you know, get your video now, or watch your free video now, or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
No, okay. We've got a couple minutes left. I got a couple more questions for you.
I'm gonna probably take one more anyway.
Okay, great. Let's say I use Facebook ads to drive this. Would you suggest I think you're suggesting to go to its own opt-in page, not necessarily the front page. Right.
Not necessarily the front page of the blog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of this website. So
Yeah,
this is the front
yeah.
page that you're looking at.
Yeah.
So-
I would
And-
recommend you create a page template that doesn't have the navigation, and
Okay.
and is full width, just like this, and then you
Okay.
you put your video here and your opt-in. Everything else can be okay. Everything else is the same. You know, you might want to put your privacy policy and terms of service and things like that down here too, but
Okay,
all the rest of this is fine if you add those, and then the only thing you want is just you know, remove the navigation. Now that you could leave the navigation in there, but you know, if it's going to be an opt-in page, why not just have them focused on opting in?
Okay, perfect.
And
Only
by the
one
way,
question I have-
now I'm going to say something to you that I don't know if you know about this or not, but it's going to be helpful for everybody too. So what you can do here, for example, is you can put an opt-in page and call it FB Ad 1, and another one with the exact same template, just change the headline, change the opt-in or whatever, and call it FB Ad 2, FB Ad 3, whatever else, right? You can make a direct relationship on the ad that you're running to the landing page. And if you do that, though,
Right.
by default, the theme is going to want to display FB Ad 1, Ad 2, and 3 and 4 pages on the navigation bar. So you want to go into your menu control for your theme, and you want to say, don't display those pages.
Correct. Yeah, I've got the menu set up that they only come up if I specifically add it to
Perfect.
the menu.
Perfect. Okay, good.
So my last question would be, if I drive traffic from Facebook, do I still want to keep a video between 1 to 2 minutes, or is it okay then to play a longer video?
No, I would actually, well, it depends on what you promise in the ad. So normally what I've been recommending and what we're working with clients that seems to work well is what I guess I would call it like a 2 to 3 minute reverse opt-in. And here's what happens. On Facebook, if you say something like get your free video here and then you take them to an opt-in page, Facebook says, well, that's not really free then if they don't get the video until they give you their name and email address, because they've just paid you with their name and email address. So the way that we found to get around it, and it seems to work pretty well, is that you promise a tip or a secret or whatever, and you pay that off in the video. And then you say, and for the other 9 tips, and this video is part of a series of videos, and if you want the entire series or other 9 tips, just opt in and you'll get instant access.
Perfect. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou.
You're welcome. All right, so real quick, what do you think your action steps are based on our conversation?
Oh, great question. The first one is reduce down the first video that you see into between 2 and 3 minutes. Make sure I get the arrow pointing to the side to the opt-in form. Change the color of at least the header of the opt-in form so that it stands out a little bit more. The submit button, change that to get your instant access now rather than submit. And then if I do Facebook ads, the video, I would want to remove the menu bar on the landing page for the Facebook ads. And then the video at the top should have one instant big bonus free item, that's juicy and fantastic, and then a call to action to opt in for the next 9, 10, whatever it is.
Excellent. You've been taking good notes.
At least they're mental. Hopefully I can remember. If not, I'll look at the replay.
Exactly. You've always got the recording, and check back in and let's have a look when you made these changes. Let's see how it's going.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Chris. All right, and that's good. So we made it in pretty good time. Thank you, Chris, for helping me stay on time. And Pam, Pam, you know the Pam that it is. There's a Pam asking me if it's Pam H. And no, it's not Pam H. It's Pam D. So let me see. I'm seeing a hand up, and I'm assuming that's you, Pam. Let me just open your line. Pam, is that you?
Can you hear me?
I can. Very good.
Awesome. Hey, Lou.
I love when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I don't have your email in front of me right away, but I will get it in just 1 minute. And,
I can just shoot you the URL link if you want.
Okay, you want me to just put that page up and we'll talk about it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
Where's my? There we go.
Actually, I'm gonna show you the page that we have now, and then just for reference, and then what we're moving to. Okay.
Sure.
If your business is not successfully
Okay, so this one that says new home page, I'm assuming is the new home page, and then the one without new home page is the current one. There we go.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay. And how can I support you today? What is it that's most important for you to take away?
Well, this is new for us. This is myself and our partners doing this, and it's new to do sort of a full-length sales letter page. So mostly, I just wanted your input. And one of the things that actually changed recently was on the new page is that we decided to target 2 avatars: beginning meditators and advanced meditators. I see you're still looking at the original.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. I'm just kind of taking a scan to see.
Sure.
Okay, so it's so. By the way, I really like this. Did you test this out? Was this not working for you?
No, that's actually worked very well.
Oh, that's what I would have thought. Good, but
But as
it
you
doesn't
can see,
appear
that's
here though.
Well, I'll show you where it is. It's just not right at the top.
Okay, so so this is your sales letter. So this is your homepage. You're bringing them to a sales letter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So if you scroll down on the new homepage,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see. Well, you can just take a look at it and stuff, and any feedback that you have is welcome. And then as you go down, you'll see that there's kind of a choice between two pages.
Here.
And so you don't push that. You keep going, but so you have a choice between a new to meditation or the one below it, which is for more advanced folk. And we haven't created the one for the advanced or experienced meditators, but just for the beginner one. But I'd love your feedback on, kind of this whole process, if this makes sense.
Well, I haven't tried it quite this way, but here's a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, I really love this opt-in right at the top. I think that for me, my homepage, its number one job is to build my list. And the way this is designed, I mean, if you're telling me it's working for you, I would continue to do that, because I would rather see you build a list and and drive people to your sales letter multiple times from from email marketing than I would drive them to a homepage that goes for the sale right away. That's just kind of the way I recommend you do it, and it's mostly because if people land on your sales page and they don't opt in and then they don't buy, you don't have a chance to connect with them again, and and maybe this wasn't the product that was right for them to buy at the moment, but you have another one, and you won't get a chance to let them know about that. So I would probably, test it, but I would reluctantly remove this from. I mean, this looks great. It's got all the elements, right? It's got the big benefits that they're going for, nice graphic. It's asking only for the email, and it's nicely done in context of the graphic. I don't even know if I would care too much about doing this. I would even take all of this. This is a little bit of friction. You take that away and just say we respect your privacy. Even that is enough. Just focus them on register for this and down. I think you might even. This is the big thing. Test drive the 15-minute demo. And I would even take this away, and rather than register and download and test drive, I would just say test drive the 15-minute demo, and then tell them what that's going to do for them. Give them the big benefit. Ask for the email, and because this is like when I got to this page, my eye went straight here and straight to the email box, and I think that would probably encourage a lot of opt-ins, and I would really encourage you to keep that as a primary objective, is to build that list. So I would reluctantly remove this from the real estate where you have it on your original page. Okay. Now, having said that, now you go into a sales letter, and my recommendation, or at least what I would encourage you to think about, is not to go into the sales letter on the main page. Unless you want this to be kind of an e-commerce site, right? But what we would normally recommend is that you use your blog as an information repository, a place where they can find out about your stuff and read articles and get informed and everything. And then each one of those little articles or blog posts or something, gives them a bit of information, qualifies them a little bit more, and then says, by the way, we've got a really easy way to meditate, and based on what you just read, if you're interested, click here. And then I would take them to the sales letter, and on that sales letter I would eliminate all this stuff along the side that doesn't contribute to the sales letter. So the testimonials are okay, and the founders' pictures okay, but remove anything that doesn't relate to them actually taking action. So I would get rid of the navigation, and this is what's being sold, and this is the order now button. So that's not too bad. That's okay. And the founder's credibility, the testimonials, okay, that's not a bad sidebar. This, I'm not sure that I would include, because I don't want them to go off the page, right? Because now they're out of the flow of selling. So if you can work it out, you should link these onto someplace on the same page. So instead of taking them off to another page, because now you're not sure that they're going to follow the flow, right? So now they're into
Right.
profound meditation, and now they're watching the video, and they forgot that they were going to buy something. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way we tried to handle that was to have a buy button at the end of these. I mean, we tried to sort of optimize sales opportunities if they clicked anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear you.
Yeah. And free demo, not here, because you don't want them to have the free demo here. You want them to buy here, right? So when you're doing either opt-ins or sales letters, you want to focus everything on that page to support them saying yes or no to that. Don't give them the choice should not be what should I click on here. The choice should be, do I want to buy or not? Or
Right.
on an opt-in page, do I want to opt in or not? And everything else that you do that distracts from that is friction against the sale. So, even customer login here, like why put that on your sales page so that they're sitting there wondering, should I be logging in first? Let me try it. Oh, let me request a password. Again, suddenly they're out of your sales flow. Okay, so all the rest of the letter looks okay. What probably the only thing I would, this is not the main letter though, hold on. Probably the only thing I would recommend is one thing that a lot of people don't know, but that there's been a lot of testing on is that if you have multiple calls to action, multiple calls to order during the sales letter, if you have between 9 and 12, so the guy who taught me this, my coach some years ago, Armin Morin, what he found through testing was if you have between 9 and 12 ways that they could order on your sales page, that's when you're going to get the greatest conversion. And part of it is because some people are ready to buy right away. Some people need to read a little bit more. Some people are going to read a testimonial and go, wow, that's amazing, I'm ready to buy. Some people need to see the offer first. Some people, everybody's ready to buy at a different time. And so you want that order button to be one wrist swipe away, if that. Okay. So now what I'm getting from here, and by the way, so you don't want people worried about sharing here, right? Take off all, I usually take off all of the invitations for them to share stuff, because I don't want them to share now. I want them to buy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the other thing I would probably recommend you do is if you're going to split them between advanced and new meditation, what do you call it, meditationer? I don't know. Between the newbie and the experienced person, I would probably not pull it so far down. I would
Put it up higher.
put it up a little bit higher, maybe even right here somehow, so that they get a couple of bullets and then they go, all right, show me what you got. I'm a newbie, because it feels to me like it's a little too far down. And what happened when I first went down here is it says, how experienced are you with meditation? And I wanted to click here where it says find your meditation solution. And I wanted to click there, and right there is probably where I would say I'm a newbie or I'm experienced. Okay, and
Right.
and you don't really need to explain all this. Like, people are going to know, I think, because the other thing that happened to me is it says click here if you're new to meditation. I looked at that, I go, well, I'm not new to meditation. My instinct was to close down the page because I didn't realize that you would later then say, oh, but if you're experienced, I have something for you as well. So I would collapse these three buttons into a single button, and then take them straight to the sales letter. And don't worry, do it sooner. And
So wait, Lou, let me make sure I understand. So you're saying that you would just have one button. So you'd really just have one sales page, not two, the way we were setting it up.
no, you could have two sales pages, but this button here is enough. Like, you don't need a link and then I'm new to meditation and then learn more, because I may not click learn more here because I'm going, oh, I better keep reading because there's more down here. Oh, I'm experienced. Oh, well, I don't want to click here, and then I've forgotten that I was supposed to click up top, and I love the meditation. Oh, you know what? Let me have a look at the free demo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I would do is make the pitch for so this is great, right? So you're making the pitch for how great this thing is, that they should really get it. And I mean, for me, I would probably do it right here. Click here if you're new to meditation, click here if you're an experienced meditator. and then take them straight into the appropriate sales letter. Now, I do, I would test with this because it's nice for them to see what the benefits are that they get, and then, just go straight to, like even this, right? You don't need all these testimonials yet, because that they don't need that yet. You're too early in the process, right? All you want to do is get them interested in learning more. You don't want to sell here. You just want to qualify them. And so I would probably move these testimonials into the sales letter, into the proper sales letter, and then as soon as possible. I still like the idea of putting it right here in this one. New version 2, you're the leading edge, and then make it real obvious that they're action buttons. Click here if you're an experienced meditator. Click here if you're new to meditation. And then reinforce it here. If they happen not to click and they scroll down, they want to read the benefits. And then take this away, maybe put the hero shot, and then this. Okay, so then this is a great one, right? Yeah. So I would really collapse this. There's too many things for them to look at, too many colors that are fun, and too many buttons to click on. And so the more you do that, the less they're likely. The more options they have, the less likely they're going to take the one that you want.
Right.
I mean, visually it's beautiful, but I just don't think it's gonna convert the way you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think those are the things that come up for me on that. And then I'm imagining that when I do click over here, now you're going to put them into the sales letter, right? And so now you just kind of fill in the blanks with stuff that's beautiful. So this, I don't know if I would do this, right? If you're going to sell, you're either going to sell the product or you're going to sell the opt-in. Okay, so I would not put that there. I would love that on the home page. I think what I would probably do is I would put it on the home page, and then I would underneath the opt-in I would put this banner, and then I would say, find out what it can do for you now. Click here if you're an experienced meditator. Click here if you're new to meditation, and then just have them click over to the sales letter. And now you know who they are. Now you know they didn't want to opt in. Now you know they're interested in your product, and boom, that sales letter makes sense for them to be reading.
So they have a choice of the opt-in or to click over to the sales page.
No, on your blog homepage, you could put both, right? You could put like the big banner at the top that. In fact, I would almost be inclined to put it above the navigation bar. I mean, I want it to be as high up as possible. But on the home page, it's okay if you have like an opt-in that appears there, and then you get into what your main content is. And most people underneath the opt-in will put articles or posts or whatever. But if you want to do this, put an invitation for them to learn about your product, and then underneath put your articles and posts and all that stuff. That's okay too. Right, but don't put too much of this, testimonial and sales page and this, because it's a little bit early in the game, and actually, if they opt in, it's even better for you. If they don't buy right now, if they're not ready to buy and they opt in, then you're going to have them on your list, which means the more time to promote to them, more time to explain the product, more time to encourage them to demo it, more time to try other products, things like that. So I guess. What's coming up for me is I think I would do something like this. By the way, do you notice where does your eye go on this page?
To the woman, to the test drive, the 15-minute demo, the woman. At least that's where it goes for me.
Does it? Okay. So for me, I can't help but to see this banner, right? But now let me ask you this: which brings your attention to that opt-in page more? This? Or this? This? Or this?
You mean the banner or the opt-in graphic?
Right. So let's do it this way. Okay. Now you see this. Okay. Now pay attention to where your eyes go.
Okay.
Okay. Now pay attention to where your eyes go. Did you notice the difference?
Yeah, actually, I got caught looking at the portrait lower on of John.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. So that's interesting, right? Because that's not what you want, right? So if that's happening, that might tell you. In fact, for me, what happened is I saw this first,
Huh.
right? Because it's bolder,
Uh-huh.
right? It pops out. It's this big orange thing with white on dark blue. It pops. I saw this
Right.
first and then the opt-in. So that is actually kind of telling too. So the page design that you'd want ideally is one that makes this stand out, and like all of these other graphic elements just deter from me seeing this. What you want
Right.
my eye to go to as soon as I land on your page ideally is this thing right here. So anything you can do to focus the eye gravity there is, I think, going to help your conversion. So, but mind you, if they go to your sales letter, that's not bad too. But the purpose for me on the homepage, primarily get that opt-in. And then if they don't opt in, okay, then I'll give them a little information. I'll tell them about the owner or the creator and whatever else. But I think there's real power. This is an amazing looking opt-in form, and so I would like to highlight it as much as possible on my homepage, if it was me. Okay, and then so now what you're looking at is you have whether you use the banner or not, we'll just leave that up to you. But now you have this is even better actually without this darn thing. But okay, so now you have the opt-in, and they can say, well, I don't really want to opt in. Then what I would do underneath the opt-in, if either they're already on your list or they don't really want the 50-minute demo at this point, then they'll scroll down, and at this point you can put this, right? So this invitation to your sales letter can come right underneath the opt-in, sort of like a featured slider. And if you're putting it there, then what you want to do is you want to see if you can reduce the height of this banner, because now you've got a big banner, you've got a big opt-in page, and now they're not seeing the invitation, right? So scrunch it up just a little bit, and then let them see this. And the alternative, what a lot of people are doing successfully now, is that they're using a gallery slider. So this initially shows, for 5 seconds or 3 seconds, shows the opt-in, and then it slides, and it shows this for 3 or 5 seconds. Then it slides, and it may show this for 3 or 5 seconds, right? So it's just a way to use that space a little bit differently. All right, and then it's always above the fold, because above the fold is going to be your most valuable property. Okay, so let me see if I can just kind of summarize a little something for you, because we talked about a lot of different things. So what I would recommend you consider is if this is your home page, and the more you can get rid of this height here, that's not contributing to what you want people to do, and what the more it takes away from eye gravity and everything, the better. So I'm just going to leave that to you to play with. You may need to put that banner in there for branding and whatever else, so I'll leave that to you. But I'm going to just encourage you to soften it so it doesn't catch as much attention as it's currently getting. Okay, and then you can have the menu, and then you're going to have your opt-in form. Opt-in. Oops. And then you're going to have, I forget what was over here. Whatever was over here is okay. I think this is the button for the order, right? And,
Yeah, that's the order.
And then you're going to have, and try to make it so that it fits kind of above the fold as much as possible. This is going to be what the top of your new home page, and see if it makes sense. If you can get it so that there in the button that you have here, in this guy, see if it makes sense that you can say click here if you're a beginner, click here if you're a novice, and then this will take them to the sales page right away. Now the sales page, it's going to have nothing on the top except the headline, nothing along the sides except testimonials maybe, and then their 100% focus is going to be on the sales page. And then underneath here, then what I would probably do actually is put articles or blog posts, featured articles. Okay, so
Could the articles or blog posts, could they include video?
Sure, absolutely.
Or links to video maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. They could definitely include video. What I'd recommend, for SEO and for what seems to work really well visually these days, is if you let me just move this area up here. Let me expand it here. Okay, is if you have something like the thumbnail of your video, and a quick description, and then click here to read more. Okay, and then the thumbnail of the next thing, and then click here to read more, and so on. And so this is a really nice compact way, and you'll create a thing called featured categories, and the only things that you'll list on your homepage are the ones that you assign to be featured. So you may have a lot of stuff on your blog, a lot of different posts, but you don't want all of them to appear on your front page. So if you want them to be included in this listing, then you're going to tag them as being featured blog posts. And so you're going to have your thing to the sales page here. You're going to have your opt-in form here. And then you can have a little sidebar stuff if you want, and then whatever you want to put on the sidebar is okay too. And then here's the key thing. So when you bring them to video, see what this allows you to do is they're going to go to a separate standalone page now, where the only thing they see is the one post. Well, at the bottom of this post, after you've built a case for it, now you've got a perfect excuse to take them over to one of your sales pages from the post. Right? So,
Yep.
and then if they happen to come to this page through SEO, fantastic. And then, they're going to go straight to your sales letter. And you have your choice. Some of the time you may make the call to action to the sales letter. Other time, you could make the call to action to that 15-minute demo, let them opt into that. But this will now start to be not just information, but it'll be building your list and selling products along the way. So if they come to your home and if they come to your homepage, you've got the primary thing that you want them to do right up at the top, which is the opt-in, followed by, hey, we've got this really great product that's amazing what it's going to do for you. You really should try it out. And if you'll tell me if you're a novice or an experienced meditator, I'll show you exactly the thing for you. And then at that point, you've kind of done your selling. You sold the opt-in, you sold the product, and now it's time to give some value. And then that's what this does. It provides content and value and so on. But really, the value is after you teach them something, because everything you're going to teach them is going to support how powerful your product is. So it's natural at the end of the post to say, by the way, go check out the product. Or, hey, have you tried the demo yet? Give it a shot. So every one of your blog posts sells for you, basically.
Okay, so I'm a little confused by one thing, which is if we've got the opt-in at the top of the page, a real easy link to, simple link to the sales letter page below that, and then below that we've got the articles and the posts. That's a lot of information. I mean, so that's not really an opt-in page. It's just kind of like a home page.
Yeah, it's a home page. Exactly. Now, if you want to do an opt-in page, then what you'll do, like if you're driving traffic, say from Facebook or search or articles or YouTube or whatever, then you're going to want to have a standalone opt-in page.
Right. And we've been planning to develop that. Okay.
Yeah. And then no navigation, no banner, no sidebar, no nothing. Just, here's why you should opt in, here's how to opt in, do it now.
Okay, cool.
And you can have as many of these as you want, but they're just not going to be displayed anywhere. They're going to be part of your blog page set, but nobody will see them except the folks that you give the link to in your advertising.
Right.
Yes?
Hey, Lou, thank you. You spent quite a bit of time on this. I really appreciate that.
No, you're very welcome. Okay, so tell me what you think your next steps are based on our discussion. What are you inspired to do now?
I really like your suggestion of redesigning the homepage, and I'm glad you like that opt-in. I've always really liked it. We're sort of in between design stages here, so this is gonna
it's beautiful.
Kind of meeting with the group and refiguring this based on your feedback.
Okay, great.
So I like kind of following your model for the homepage. I do want us to create some standalone opt-in pages, and take away the sidebar for the sales letter page. And I love your idea of having a real simple sales button on the homepage that has that button to choose between new to meditation or experience. I think that would be, like, I'd want to push it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, this is where I fit, push,
Yep. I think you got a lot of really good ideas, and the look and feel is beautiful, it's gentle, it's like the right energy for what you're doing. There's a lot going on that's really great about this. And so, I guess what I'm really doing is saying, so a little bit more compression and get straight, direct people to what you want them to do as much as possible. Always keep in mind, right, your most wanted outcome. and then put everything on the page that supports your most wanted outcome, and keep everything off the page that distracts from it.
Right. Yep.
Cool?
Well, thank you, Lou, very much.
You're very welcome, and please come back when you've had a chance to sort of tinker a bit and let us see how it's going, and let us know what's working.
I totally will.
Appreciate it, Pam. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, who's up? Annette. Annette, if you are here, please raise your hand with a *2. Wow, it looks like you're calling from Washington, but I thought you were across the pond. Okay, let's see if I can open it.
Hello.
There you are. Hello.
Hello, Lou.
How are you?
Here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you. Now you sent me a whole bunch of things, and I want to request of you that you focus me a little bit. Which of the things that you sent are the most important for you?
I want to focus on the sales letter, and I have two things I'm struggling with. It's naming my concept, naming my product, and then my sales page. I think it's too long, and it has to be more specific, and I find it a little bit difficult to have measurable goals. So, do you have the sales letter in front of you?
I think so. I'm just copying and pasting. Is this the one you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't have it. You don't have it online yet, right? You just have it in this written format. Okay.
No, I just found my niche like 7 weeks ago. So
Okay.
I'm still on from very start of this program.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that I'm looking at what you want me to see. So.
Yep.
All right. Now this is actually a sales letter. It's not an opt-in page, right?
No, it's a sales letter, but I think I realized that it should then be, I think I mixed both opt-in and sales letter, because at the end it should be then, of course, they buy the product, not I sign in and get the free report. So it's actually, I realize that it's not, I'm mixing two things.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the reason I ask is because you said that you thought this letter was too long, but for me, it doesn't seem very long at all. It looks like, what you would put on an opt-in page. Like, some of these sales letters that you read, if you print them out, they're like 35, 40 pages, some of them. So, so don't be deterred by that. And always when you're thinking about writing a sales letter, remember that what you're writing to the person, you have to assume has never seen you before, doesn't know about you, but is interested in buying something like what you offer. But they don't really know you, they don't know your product, they don't know whether you understand their problems, and they need a little bit of reassurance that you're for real and that they're it's worth taking the risk to pull their credit cards out and pay you online. So you have to include a lot of things to help the lowest common denominator. Then at the same time, for people who do know you, what you want to provide is a path for them to sort of gloss past the things that they already know. And that's where the subheadlines come in. The subheadlines allow people who don't need to read every word to just go through the sales letter a block at a time till they get to what they need to find out, which may be the product description. They don't need all the stuff at the front because they know who you are and they know what you can do. They're on your list and all that stuff. They just want to go to the point where you're describing the offer. And so you want to make it easy for both those readers, for the ones that scan quickly and for the ones that have never seen you and need information and maybe need a little reassurance. So please don't worry about the length of it. Put as much information as you need in there to give people the knowledge of you, the experience of you, and the comfort that they're getting something from you that can help them. Okay, so that would be my first observation. And this is probably a little bit early in the sales letter to give you some, very specific feedback, but I'm thinking I don't know if we put, are you part of any other of Evan's programs like Guru Mastermind or anything?
Yeah.
Okay, and did you? It looks like you have, judging by your format here. Did you listen to the interview with Craig Clemens?
No.
Oh, okay, you must do that. It's one of the best pieces of training I think I've heard ever. It's Craig Clemens who did a lot of work with Evan in the dating field to write some of his letters. He walks through how he structures a sales letter, and he walks through a series of questions that he asks himself, and then the answers to those questions become the sales letter. So if you have access to the Guru Mastermind or any of the Guru coaching or whatever, do a search in the members area for Craig, Craig, and and see if you can find that interview he did with Kevin Bates on copywriting. It's phenomenal, and then that's what I would use to guide you in terms of taking a look at the sales letter and figuring out how to flesh it out. Okay, because right now I think the shape it's in is a little bit too early, and I think you have a little bit more work to do here to do things like like for example, let me just really quickly say, so in the beginning, this part is you have the right idea here. What you're wanting to do is to empathize with your reader and show them that you understand their problems, and then you jump right into the techniques. But I think before you talk about the techniques, it might be helpful to maybe tell a story or explain how this showed up in your life, and how it works or what it is or whatever. Because if you go straight into the techniques, you're starting to sell just a little bit too early. So you want to transition from, hey, I understand who you are, to a little bit about me, so that you understand, so you can see why I understand. And if you have a story yourself, like did you have this experience yourself with your daughter or anything?
Not with my daughter, but with my son.
Okay.
So I'm going to try this both for moms with having daughters and for sons. So I have and see what turns out.
So if you have that experience, that's a really great story to tell, because then people really know that you understand, right? And so I would add that to the sales letter. Now you could add it here, or it's probably okay too to say, what I would say, when you're introducing it here, is not to say with the techniques I'm about to show you necessarily, but just to say there are ways, like techniques starts to sound a little bit like, hey, I'm going to show you techniques and sell you. And you could do that later when you talk about the rhythmic technique and so on, the rhythmic movement technique. But at this point, what I would be inclined to say is, if your answer is yes to any of the above questions, here's the good news. You actually can get these results. Oh yeah, okay. I would say something here like, and here's the good news. I've been in your shoes. I know exactly what you're going through, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but I want you to read this letter, because I'm going to share my story to show you how, without the use of drugs and without labeling my son or whoever it was ADHD, that there are ways to get the best out of your kids without medication, sleeping problems, depression, and losing appetites. In fact, I've found that I've been able to keep my kid focused for more than 15 minutes, be more organized. And I'd like to share with you how I did it, so that you can too. And then you give them a little bit of the technique, and you tell your story and tell them how it worked for you. And again, that idea of the conversion story, that's the point where then you can say, and I found it worked really well for me, and then tell them the story of how you came up with this. I found out it worked really well for me, and then I talked to a bunch of my friends who had kids with the same issues, and I shared it with them. It turns out it worked really well for them, so I decided to put it into this training, into this product, so I can help a lot of people just like you, just like me. And then let me tell you about the product, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, see that flow? So actually, what I would encourage you is to make it longer. Tell more of the story, put more of yourself into it. Show people, why. Show them that you really get them. That I think is the most powerful thing. And then if is this your product, or is this someone else's product?
It's someone else's product.
Okay, so your story is probably going to be about the experience you had when you used that product, and the changes you saw in your son and things like that, right?
Actually, this product have not been used for my son. It's something that I found much later.
Aha.
So he is grown up now, and so
Okay.
it's just that what I have experienced on myself and also from others who I know
Okay.
very closely.
So then maybe so that you can't tell them the story that this made a change in your son's life because you didn't use it.
No.
But what you can do is you can say, I had a son with this diagnosis, and before I knew about this, here's what I did. And oh my gosh, if I had only known about this, here's what I could have done instead, because I've had friends who've used it and this is what they told me happened. This was their experience. And so I wish I'd have known about it when I was dealing with it, but now I'm so impressed by what it's done for my friends that I really just want to share it with everybody, because you may be in the situation I was in. You may be dealing with this and not even be aware that there's a drug-free, label-free solution to helping your son or daughter. Right, so maybe that's your story. What I want you to tell the truth of your story, but I want you to create it, tell it so that it's connecting with them, so that they really get it, that you understand them. Because ADHD and stuff, it's a very personal thing, right? And especially when you're dealing with your kids. So if they see that you get it, that you're a mom too, and you had to deal with this, and you're really there to help and support them, that's a really powerful thing. So tell whatever your truth is. Tell it, and tell it in a way that really connects and shows them that you understand and you want to help.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what I'd like you to do is go to Guru Mastermind, see if you can find that recording, and then follow that process. And if you can't find it, tell me next week or when we meet again. And I'm going to see. Actually, let me just make a note here. I'm going to make a note that maybe we can just. We can borrow it and include it in the ACC members area, because it's a phenomenal piece of training. Okay, so
I'm looking forward to look into that.
Yeah, do that. And you know what? That will also help you with the naming a little bit too, because as you go through writing the headlines and working through the benefits and the fears and frustrations that the process works you through, you may be inspired too to come up with a name. So can we revisit this conversation once you've had a chance to do that?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Excellent, Annette. So I will leave you with that action request, and whenever you've done it and you're ready to go, come on back and let me know, and we'll continue this conversation.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay, and I've made a note. So as Annette is going, if you're part of Guru, not just Annette, but everybody, if you're part of Guru, go ahead and please consume, devour, and absorb that interview with Craig Clemens, and I will do my best to see if we can get them to drop it into the Action Coaching Club members area for you too. That's just one of the best pieces of training I've ever heard. Okay, excellent. So we can get rid of this. And that's it for our hot seats. And so now what I'd like to do is just open the call to round robin Q&A. So if you have a question, go ahead and type it in your GoToWebinar control panel, or if you'd like me to open your line and we can talk for a while, you can just go ahead and press star 2 to raise your hand. Now, I found recently that if you're calling in on Skype, if you're not on a regular phone, sometimes a cell phone and Skype will drop digits. So you may think you're dialing star 2, but I don't actually see it. So if you do have your hand raised, please also type something in the GoToWebinar control panel so that I can look for you. If I don't see a hand raised, then I can maybe find you by caller ID or something. Okay, and while you're doing that, I will go back and look through the mailbag a little bit and see if there's anything there. Okay, so Aleem is saying, not sure if I heard correctly, but is it possible to get a stock or template video that will allow me to add my content to my opt-in page? If so, can you let me know where I can get this? Yeah, so Christopher, maybe you can just type in where you found that. There's a couple of different sources. I'll see if I can remember one of them. Stock video. Which is the one? Okay, so iStock photo slash video. That's one. That's not the one I'm thinking about. Getty, Pond 5. What's it called? I think it's Jungle Video Stock Footage. Okay, does anybody know what I'm trying to remember here? It's okay, I know how to find it. FlashDen. ActiveDen. Okay, here we go. Video player site templates. Okay, one of these things. Here we go. Audio Jungle, tutorials, ActiveDen, ThemeForest, VideoHive. That's what I'm thinking of. VideoHive. Okay. Try that, Aleem, and you'll find all sorts of really fascinating things here. Now, some of them allow you to modify the content just by changing text. Some of them require you to have Fireworks, which is a Flash program editor. So you'll have to, you know, read the description of all of these. But these are all basically stock video footage, many of which you can add your own title and text and things like that. Okay, so this is the one that I go to the most often, VideoHive.net. Okay, we'll get all of those. Suling says, awesome loop. Well, thank you, Suling. Glad you like that. Joe says, I've got a question about creating a free report in the email. Okay, let me look you up, Joe. Is that the one that you call Freeline content? Joe, is that the question about the 10 by 10 by 4? Okay. So let's bring that up and see what we can. I don't know a lot about the. Well, I know what the 10 by 10 by 4 is, but I'm not sure I'm intimately familiar enough with to answer all your questions. But we'll take a stab. Okay. So I'm plugging away with my product creation process. I'm trying to come up with the free content that I can give away as an opt-in incentive. My product is providing nuts and bolts training on online video marketing and how to build trust and rapport with prospects by using video. Mike Koenigs in his 10 by 10 by 4 formula recommends creating 10 frequently asked questions and 10 should ask question videos. Then he suggests posting them on my blogs as well. Can you summarize Mike's concept for more clarity? All right, I'm gonna give you my best shot, but you know, this is obviously Mike's concept, and I don't know all of the details of it, but here's kind of my understanding. So it's you know, it's a little bit almost about very similar to what we talked about here, except his thing is primarily focused around driving the traffic, right? So what he's basically saying is, if you're going to use video marketing to drive, and by the way, I'm talking as though I know this for a fact, right? I'm saying what he's basically saying is, but of course the caveat here is you need to go and read his document to see if I got this right? Because this is my interpretation of it. So what he's basically saying is, if you have a destination page, and let's say this is your opt-in page, right? And the opt-in page has 4 videos, a 4 video sequence here. And this is, you know, basically what you're selling on the opt-in. You're saying, hey, opt in here, and I've got these 4 great videos, and I'm going to walk you through. Now, you can show them all at once, or you can put them on an autoresponder so that they see, you know, one every 2 or 3 days or whatever. And these are basically like your selling videos. These are the ones where you describe the product and you try to promote it, right? So these are, there's a lot of value in these videos, but they're also the ones where you drive to the money page. Okay, so that's the 4 in the 10 by 10 by 4. Now the 10 by 10, what he's basically saying is make videos of the top 10 frequently asked questions on your subject, the things that people are most concerned about in your specific area of expertise, and make a little 2-3 minute video that basically gives them a tip or a strategy or some value, teach them something about that concern that helps them move it along, to eliminate the concern, gives them a strategy for dealing with it, a tip for action steps, whatever, So think about this can be actually 3 to 5 minutes, let's say. And at the end, you'll have a call to action that basically points to this opt-in page. And so you're going to have 10 of these videos of the questions your clients frequently ask, or their fears and frustrations, or their needs and desires, and so on. And you make 10 3 to 5 minute videos. The purpose of these is to give them enough value that they want more, and then say, oh, if you want more, just, I've got this 4 video series that explains it in detail. Just go and download it here. And so these are all pointing to your opt-in page. And then he's saying, there are some questions that, people don't know that they should be asking. Like they should be worried about support, or they should be worried about where the thing was manufactured, or they should be worried about how much they're paying and who they get it from, right? And so these are questions they should be asking when they're evaluating the purchase or the acquisition of this particular thing. And so you take your top 10 things that are not part of what they're asking you, but that is important for them in their process. That they should know. This is kind of, you make the assumption, like, you didn't ask me this, but you should have asked me this because it's going to help you make a good decision. And same thing there, 3 to 5 minutes, each one, and at the end of these, you drive to the opt-in page. So now you've basically got 20 videos pointing to the opt-in page. Of course, with Mike, because he sells Traffic Geyser, and even if you don't use Traffic Geyser, the idea now is, well, where do you put these videos? Right? Well, what you do is you put them on Traffic Geyser in Mike's solution, and Traffic Geyser puts them on, every imaginable portal. The YouTube, Vidler, Vimeo, Blip, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now I think he has, haven't seen Traffic Geyser for a while, but now I think he has the ability to turn these into audio and publish them onto podcast directories, and then even to turn them into articles and publish them into article directories, right? So you create those videos once, and Traffic Geyser sends them all over the web for you. And so your videos are going to appear in every video directory, the audios in every podcast directory, the articles in all the article directories. And now what you've got is all of these links and all of this information and content all pointing back to your opt-in page. And this is your traffic generator. And again, the express purpose of those tips is to give somebody some value and say, if you want the rest of it, go to the opt-in page. And that's basically it as far as I understand it. So let me go back to your question and see if there's a specific question you have about that. For testing, would it not be quicker just to create a summary report of my program versus 20 videos? Well, it might be quicker, but I think then you've got to ask yourself, how do you make use of that program? In other words, you still got to get, if you have a summary report, how are people going to see it? How are you going to drive traffic to the opt-in page that encourages people to download your report? And so Mike's 10 by 10 by 4 is basically saying, well, if you use this video marketing technique, you're going to get a lot of traffic coming in to get your report, right? Now, if you're just using the program, then you could use other ways of doing it. Like you could post on Squidoo and Facebook, and you could drive advertising that you pay. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to drive traffic to get that report. Mike's solution is one of the best ways to drive traffic is for free, is to do those videos and get them on all the video directories. And you also have to then make sure that those videos get watched. So you have to do a little bit, to help that along. But you'll have a lot of link backs to your opt-in page, and that might help too. So if your opt-in page is on a blog, and there's a lot of content on the blog, and all these links come to your blog, well, guess what? You're going to get indexed quickly. Your opt-in page gets indexed. Your blog gets SEO'd better, and the chances that people see your program are better again. If the same videos can easily be found on my blog, why would anyone want to opt in? So they're not the same videos. You really don't need to put these on your blog, because why put, your blog is for content. It's not for lead generation. So these videos are for lead generation. So you don't even need to put them on your blog. The only ones you need to put on the blog are those 4 videos that you do not publish everywhere else, right? So that's the whole idea, is that these 4 videos are your secret sauce. This is the big value, and that's where you put stuff on your blog, but you don't make it public. You put it behind the opt-in page. And these other videos are not designed for content. They're designed to tease and drive traffic. So these you want, you know, all over the place, and you don't need to put them on your blog, because why bother? Your blog should be about content. This is where you put your good stuff. You don't need to put tease on it because they're already there on your blog. Okay, so that's the difference there. Should I just not create one 20-30 minute video on my avatar's biggest fear and frustration and provide them a summary of the top 5 solutions? So again, if you do that, you still need to drive traffic to that, right? So you could replace, for example, those 4 videos with the content with a 20 to 30 minute video, and then you would generate the other 20 videos and distribute them all over the place, so that so it drives people to opt in for this 20-30 minute video on the biggest fear and frustration. Okay, a 20-30 minute video is not a lead generator. 20-30 minute video is content, you know, that it's education, it's content, it's real stuff. And you don't want to put that, you know, you could put that on YouTube and all that kind of thing, but you know, not too many people spend time on YouTube watching 30 minutes of video, but almost everybody watches a couple of minutes. And so you want, you know, again, you want to think about those particular videos as lead generators, and what you're talking about here is more like content. And this you might want to put on your blog, and this you might want to put behind an opt-in page, but you still need to drive traffic. So how do you do that? You create those FAQs and SAQs, or I mean, they don't have to be FAQs, SAQs. It'd be whatever you can think of that people will watch for 2 minutes, that gives them, that inspires them, compels them, creates the desire for coming to opt in for this 20-30 minute video. Perhaps, how about just creating a 10, okay, again, yes, you can, but that's not what Mike is advocating, right? Because I guess you probably know by now, I won't repeat it, right? The idea here is, this is the destination, this is what you're giving away. These 10 by 10s are what brings people to your destination, or what you're giving away. I've also started brainstorming some topics which could be used. Do you recommend doing a segment on all of them, or just pick the biggest fear, frustration, and drill deeper? Well, depends on how well you know that this really is the biggest fear, frustration. So if you've done your research and you've, you know, sent out a lot of different information, a lot of content, and you've determined, you know what, 80% of the traffic is about this fear and frustration, then you can drill down a little bit deeper. Otherwise, you might initially talk about as many different fears and frustrations from as many different angles as you can, and then notice which ones are getting the most attention, and then you can drill deep on the ones that are getting the most attention. You know, because in the beginning, you know, you think you might know what's most important, but we don't always know, right? So it's always better to test it. And so cast a wide net in terms of, you know, fears, frustrations, benefits, needs, desires. And if they're all marketed the same way, they all reach the same audience, then if you have tracking on them, which you should, so that you can see who's watching what and who's reading what, and you know, who's clicking through on what, then you're going to know very clearly what the biggest fear, frustration is, or the biggest need and desire. And at that point, then you can start drilling a little deeper on those. You know, but if you want to pick one and drill deep, go for it. I mean, it's better than nothing at all. But you know, if you're not sure that that's the real big one for people, then you know, talk about whatever you think is important to them, and see which ones they respond to, and follow their lead. You know, I had somebody in my coaching gym the other day who said something like, I don't remember exactly, but it was basically what he was saying is, you know, I had this idea for a product, and I was, you know, working hard to sell the product, to advertise, to tell people about it, to get them to understand it, and this and that. And then he said, and then I just happened to mention to somebody that we also provide this service, and instantly they wanted to order it. And he said, and then I tried that with another customer who also said they wanted it, and I told them we offer the service, and instantly they wanted to order. And he said, here I am, I've been spending all my time promoting what I thought I wanted to put out in the market, that I thought they needed, and I wasn't getting the response. You know, people weren't getting excited. I had to spend a lot of time educating. On the other hand, I got this other service. The minute I mention it, they instantly want to buy. what a difference there is when you're offering people something that they're looking for versus when you're offering something that you think they're looking for. Okay, so our job in marketing is to test as much as possible and watch, test and track, so that we're sure that the thing that we spend our time promoting, teaching about, offering, making offers and creating products over are the things that people, when they look at it, they go, oh, I've been looking at that forever. I've been looking for that forever. Please let me buy it from you. Okay, so yeah, so I would probably, in my mind, the advantage of doing something like 10 by 10 by 10 is that it allows you to cast a wide net. And you can actually see which one of those 20 videos get the most click-throughs, and that will give you an idea of what the biggest fear of frustration is. Then you might want to do 10 by 10 on that particular fear and frustration and see how that works out. Okay, I think that's the way I would probably approach it. Okay, there we go. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks, Joe, for the question. And Jeff, Lou, I owe you a testimonial. Oh, I like the way that starts. Let me see what it says here. I have started 2 tech-based marketing businesses using Trusted Advisor Workshop and Action Coaching Club lessons, generating tons of leads and making money already. Can't talk right now because I'm getting ready to conduct my 70-weekly mastermind. I'm one of your biggest fans. All the best to you, Lou. Hey, Jeff, thank you, man. I'm really, really happy to hear that. And you're going to have to come on and tell us about this. I really appreciate you putting this in here, and and it was a nice acknowledgement, but man, it would be great if we have a chance to talk so you can share with everybody the parts that work for you, how you implemented them, so that they can be inspired and model your success as well. So thank you, my friend. Congratulations. I'm really proud and happy for you, and can't wait to hear more about it on a future call. All right, and let me see. Any other questions here? So I've got a mailbag full of, it looks like 50 or 60 questions here. So, and it's intermingled with strategy coaching requests, which we're not doing anymore. So if you have a question in my mailbag, or if you have something you want to ask me now, please just type it in, so that if you're on the line, I can answer you directly. Help me sift and sort through this a little bit more effectively. Okay, Joe says, fantastic. Thank you. Good, good. I'm glad that resonated. And Shuling says, Don Crowther has this thing that he calls the 50 topic blogging list. Work out your key topics and related topics around those topics. Yes. Yeah, that's actually a good one as well, Shuling. I wasn't going to bring it up, but now that you have, I'll point everybody to it. And the only reason I don't want to bring it up is because I don't want you to be confused and have too many options. Yeah. So if I'm going to show you this, but here's what I'd like you to do. If you're going to use one of these, don't try to use both Mike's and Don's at the same time. Read them, find out which one appeals to you, but then implement. Implement to completion, implement to mastery. Don't do them both simultaneously, or you're just going to you're going to wear yourself thin. So what Shuling is talking about is, if we go to DonCrowther.com, and this is, I think, in fact, Don did an interview with Eben at one point, and he talked about this. Now let me see if I could find it. Well, what if I put in 50 here? Okay, I don't seem to find it right now, but it was one of the earlier blog posts. It was one that he was teaching. You know what I'm going to do? Let me make a note to look up that interview with Don as well, and then maybe we'll drop that in the members area. But in the meantime, if you want, head over to social media how-to. Maybe this is in here. Oh, he's into QR codes now. That's cool. Supercharged analytics. Okay. All right, I'm not going to make you crazy looking for this thing, but I'll just make a note here to see if we can find that interview with Don, and we will Don Crowther, and we'll try to put that interview in the members area for you. It's good. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Now, it's good stuff, but it's social media, and it won't work unless you do it and you commit yourself to it. Right? It's not a matter of reading it and trying it for a day or two. It's a very, specific, intentional, focused process. It will work if you use it, but it's not going to come without focus. So please don't start it unless you intend to use SEO and social media for your marketing. If you're going to be using webinars, joint ventures, and advertising, then don't even look at this stuff, or at least look at it, but just, don't even try to implement it. If you do it halfway, you're just spinning your wheels, right? And this is probably true of everything we learn. If you learn something and it inspires you and it fits with your marketing model, then go for it and work it until you master it, until it produces results for you. And then don't focus on anything that you're not interested in giving that much attention to, because otherwise you're really just spending time, and you just jump from one to another with another. None of them will end up producing as well as they could for you. You'll imagine that they don't work for you, and you'll just, you won't get the benefits that you could otherwise, right? So what I would recommend to you, especially if you're just starting out, is, pick at most 3 kinds of strategies for your marketing, and then really focus on getting really good at them, because a lot of these strategies will work. But there are tricks and techniques, and there are things you need to do to figure out how they work and everything else, like anything. And if you were willing to put the time in, and that's why it's important you pick the marketing strategies that really resonate with you. Like with me, I love to talk, I love to do presentations, I love to teach, so webinars and teleseminars is the natural fit for my marketing. If you ask me to sit down and do Google AdWords and work up those keyword silos and all that kind of stuff, I'll pull my hair out and maybe put a gun in my mouth. But if you ask me to do joint ventures and webinars, man, I'm there all the time, any day. So you have to find what that is for you. Find your sweet spot. And sometimes you don't know until you try it, right? But don't give up too easy on these things. When you find something that resonates and people have had success with it, commit yourself to making it successful for you as well. Okay, and don't do too many. You only need 2 or 3 really effective techniques to build your list to 5, 10, 15,000, and then it's just email marketing. You don't need to do anything else other than email marketing. I know, I've reduced it to 3 or 4 steps, right? Maybe that's too easy. Okay, so any other questions, folks? We got 3 minutes. Let me see. Julie says, "Hi, Lou. I submitted a new Tuesday mastermind group. Haven't heard from anyone, but wanted to let everyone know it's on Tuesday at 5 p.m." Okay, great, Julie. So in case I think they put this in all of the emails, but just in case you didn't catch it, remember that we have you can join mastermind groups with other folks in the Action Coaching Club, and so this is the sort of online sign-up sheet, which is at, let me put that, gurucoaching.com/masterminds. So if you want to create a group or if you want to join a group, then just have a look down here, and whenever there's a group that has an open spot, usually I recommend you don't do more than 6 people, but you can just, for example, Joe's in this group, you drop him a line and say, hey, are you taking any more folks, or are you happy with 3? And they might say, no, we'll take more. And so you can sign up for that group. But otherwise here, for example, there's an open space here, which is an indication that they're looking for folks. I recommend you take a look at the time zone, because if you can get someone that's close to your time zone, it usually works better in terms of organizing a call for everybody. Okay, so it's not a very complex process. It's just an online sign-up sheet, and then when people drop out of masterminds, the members will delete their name from it and open up a spot. And so if you see something in your time zone where there's a spot open, just go ahead and sign up. Looks like we've got a lot of mastermind activity. That is excellent to see. Congratulations. It's beautiful. Okay, here's one in the Eastern time zone. So Julie, you're in Central, but maybe instead of starting one, if Eastern time zone works for you, because that's only an hour difference, I think, from you. Not sure, an hour, maybe 2. Anyway, you might consider taking a look at this one here, which seems to have a little space. Okay, so please do take advantage of this, folks, because masterminding is just a really powerful way to brainstorm, to let new ideas integrate, and to connect with other people for support, acknowledgement, ideas, accountability, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm really pleased. I hadn't seen this for a while. I'm really pleased to see how many of you are taking advantage of it. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So congratulations, well done. All right, so we're at the end of time, and I'm not seeing any more questions. Pam says, Mastermind is awesome, very helpful. Yeah, great. Good for you, Pam. All right, well, I'm going to go through some of the other things that we have in the mailbox, and I'm thinking I have a couple of ideas, and as I start to roll them out, I'll run them by you. One is that you know, I'm going to reach out and see if you guys want to start doing the your own webinars. You know, like if you want to practice delivering webinars and maybe take a half hour on one of our calls to deliver and practice doing a webinar to our group. And the other one is that it seems like I'm getting a lot of strategy coaching requests, and so I might separate. I think it'll be worthwhile to separate the strategy coaching calls. You know, we'll do that one week, and then we'll do the Q&A the next week, because the Q&A we can zip through and do a lot of questions quickly, but the strategy coaching is always good to spend a little extra time. So I'm playing with those kind of ideas, and then I'd also like to do you know, maybe 1 month we'll focus on list building, another month we'll focus on product creation, and so on, so that gives you 30 days to really, you know, hone your focus in on something and make sure that you're moving your stuff along productively at all times. So that's what I'm thinking. If you have ideas, or if you've been involved in something that really works for you to keep you productive and get results for you and so on, just please send all of your comments to lou.acc@powerupcoaching.com and let me know. You know, we're constantly looking for ways to create structures and provide resources that really help you to move your business forward. And I know I'm not the only guy who has ideas. We have a wealth of ideas and some really good folks on the call. So please feel free to just drop me a line and let me know what would support you. And I'm open to anything and everything that will support the majority of you. Okay, and that's it. Then we will close the call today. I'm seeing nothing else, and I will then move to my final slide. Okay, we've done this already. I got to figure out how to make this stop, this slow process. Trevor says, is Twidla free? Yes, it is in fact. Twidla.com, Trevor, it is free. Well, I think they have a premium version as well, but I'm using the free one. Okay. There we go. That's where I wanted to get to. So thank you guys. Listen, I appreciate you being here, because you're here. I get to do work that's fun and fulfilling. So thank you for allowing that. And I look forward to catching you. This weekend is a long weekend in the USA, so we will not have a call on Monday, but I'll look forward to connecting with you again on Thursday. Have an incredible Memorial Day if you're in the US. And if you're not, well, have a great weekend anyway. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Till then, have fun, make a lot of money, serve a lot of people, have a lot of fun. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now. Thank you. Namaste.